Cheers. Yeah. Let's just go where everyone knows your name, right? In a lot of ways, it's getting to the heart of it. It's a relational rest. It's not just resting, it's resting in Him. Jesus says, come to me and I will give you rest. Not get away from everything and you'll find rest. Come to me and I'll give you rest. And not just rest for your mind, not just rest for your body, but rest for your souls. Deep down within you, you're going to get real rest. Here's the simple truth. We cannot find rest apart from Him. In fact, listen to what St. Augustine said. St. Augustine is a way smarter guy than I am. He said this: you have made us for yourselves, and our heart is restless until it rests in you. You can take all the vacations you want. You can read all the self-help books you want. You can come to as many Sunday services as you want. Until you are resting in Him, you are not going to find rest. And that's the mistake Israel made. They thought it was about the place. And then they disobeyed God and turned their hearts to other gods. And God said, that's not going to work. You'll not find rest that way. In fact, He booted them out of their place of rest until they got their heads back on straight. And they called out to who? To God to rescue them, to redeem them, to save them. Jesus, remember the two reasons we read in Exodus and Deuteronomy? Creation and redemption. Jesus created you, and He knows the deepest parts of you. He knows what you're wrestling with. He knows where you need rest. He created you, and He simply wants you to acknowledge that He is your creator. And He also, what's the second part? Redeemed you. He redeemed us from our own spiritual bondage. And we can only find genuine rest when we abide in Him. So I want you to turn forward to John chapter 15. Goodness. Time always goes by so fast when we're having fun. Okay, I'm having fun. I don't know about you. All right, and I'm going to actually read this on screen. It's going to be ESV because it uses a little different word. Some translations, including the New Living and NIV, say, remain in me. But I think this translation uses a better word. He says, abide. This is Jesus speaking. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I'm the vine. You're the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing, including rest. See, there's this symbiotic relationship that Jesus is talking about here. He's saying, I am the vine. I'm the thing that sustains you and gives you life. You're the branches. You get your sustenance from me. And what Sabbath is about disconnecting from everything else and connecting to Him. Making sure we're connected to Him. Because the mistake we make as human beings, if you're a human being, raise your hand. Some of you didn't raise your hands. Not sure what that means. We do this in every aspect of our lives. We think we're the creator. We created stuff. We make stuff happen, right? We also play this game of thinking that we can save ourselves. If I just work hard enough, if I do enough good. Anyone ever heard this? As long as when I get to heaven, my good outweighs my bad, then I will have earned and worked my way in. God says you can't create anything. You can't save yourself. You can do nothing apart from me. And Sabbath is the time that we set apart as holy to say God is the creator, not me. Here's a little pride thing. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you take a break, nothing will fall apart. The world will still go on. Politicians will still be insane. Commerce will still happen. Amazon will still deliver. Your job will not break down. And I'm as guilty as I am probably more guilty as anyone of thinking this. Several years ago, I was young to this particular place and job, and I was convinced that nothing good would happen here in the church if I didn't do it. In fact, I said those words to my wife because I was burning out. And she said, take a break. And I said, I can't take a break. If I don't do it, it won't get done. How much pride and ego do we have to think that's true? Am I alone? Thank goodness. Whew. And by the way, she had the right response. She told on me. She told the elders on me. And they kicked me out. They did the right thing. They kicked me out. They sent me on a vacation and said, you're not allowed to call anyone. You're not allowed to check emails. And trust us, we'll still be here when you get back. I wasn't so sure. But guess what happened? I got rest. I connected back to Jesus. I got some Sabbath, which I had desperately needed and had foolishly not done. Boy, I was coming in on Sundays. I was doing all the things, but I wasn't connected to Him. I wasn't resting in Him. See, we think we are all that in a bag of chips, and Jesus says, you're nothing without me. So here's two things we need to do to get real rest. Number one is to stop striving. Stop striving in the material, physical work. By the way, it's done. God said when He was done with creation, what did He say? It's good. It's good. And on the seventh day, He said, it's done. It's done. Then He said, okay, you get to work for 6 days, but on the seventh day, I want you to leave it up to me. Will the world stop revolving if you stop? The simple answer, no, it will not. It keeps going when we sleep. We love sleep, and sleep is the ultimate disconnection, right? So stop striving on the physical side. Stop striving on the spiritual side, thinking that you can work your way into heaven. When Jesus died on the cross, He said 2 words, 3 words. I contracted it, and then I was like, no, I can't contract it. It is finished. It's finished. You can't earn it. It's a gift to you, so stop striving so much. Stop striving so much. And the second thing is rest in Him. Not just rest, but rest in Him. Right, it says this day, the Sabbath day, is a day of rest for God. Not just for you. Is it for you? Yeah, you get something out of it. But it's also for Him, to connect to Him, to release everything to Him, your mind, your body, your spirit, and be held by Him in His loving arms. Here's how I want you to think about it. Anyone ever seen a little kid? Let's say a little kid, there's some kids in the back. And by the way, when we're having family worship, we're going to set these back rows up for kids so your kids can rustle around and you won't feel so bad. Now, some of you are like, no, I'd rather have them confined. That's fine. You get the option. See, there's one roaming around right now. So let's say this little guy came running down and he bit it hard. I mean, why are you laughing so hard? I mean, face planted hard. Okay, what's the first thing we would all do? Laugh. I know someone who would. I know someone. After we finish laughing, what would we do? What's that child going to do? Cry. And then? What would happen next, Mom and Dad? He'd run to his mother. He'd run to his mother. Why? Needs comfort. Needs to be held a little bit. And once he gets held a little bit, then what? Then he's off. That's what Sabbath is. It's us coming to God and saying, can you just hold me for a little bit? The world is a scary, dark, evil place. And I just need to spend some time with you. I've used up all of my energy out there, and I just need to be with you. Stop striving and rest in him. Let's pray. Father, man, we've gone through a journey this morning, and this Sabbath thing is tough for us. It's hard for us to do this. In fact, we're going to walk out of here and face every temptation not to rest. The world tells us we don't have enough, we aren't enough, we don't look right, we don't act right, we don't think right. And all of that may be true, but it's because we're not abiding in you. We're not resting in you. Father, begin to change our hearts, our minds, our attitudes, our thinking around Sabbath. That it's for us, it's for you, it's for the people around us. It's for us to find hope and strength and comfort in you. Ultimately, it's for us to stop striving, thinking we run the world, or thinking that we have to earn our salvation, and to understand that we can rest because you're the one in control. We can rest in you because you've got everything under control. Let us have faith. Let us believe in that. Let's trust in that, and help us to be obedient to that for your glory. And all God's people said, amen. We've got a couple announcements for you this morning. Mary's going to come, then I'm going to come back, and then you'll be dismissed. Right here.
Good morning, Pinecrest family. Nice to see you. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
I love that so much. In fact, that brings me to our first announcement. In 2 weeks is Easter Sunday, so 10 o'clock service. So far, we just have the one. So 10 o'clock, get here a little bit early because that's one of our popular times. We'll have a lot of company here, so get here early. And please bring a friend, a family member, a neighbor that you wouldn't normally think that wanted to come to church. But let's get them plugged in here because Easter's a great time for that. And then second, where's Mr. Cam Young? Oh, Cam's going to come up here in just a minute. Yeah. As you remember, the youth are putting together a day, it's in 2 weeks, March 23rd, to go downtown, and I'll let him tell you about that in just a minute. This coming Friday, we have the women's gathering, so it's at 6 o'clock. This is a great place to come and get connected with some of the women around here at church, and just come and, bring a snack, and we have some refreshments here, and just come and say hi and get connected. And then, let's see, then on the 16th, which is this coming Saturday at 9 a.m., we have kids, community, and coffee. And that's for anyone that has a young child. Just come, the kids play in the playground, Jake and Lynn's make coffee. It's just connecting with other people that have kids. Kids are any age. I think the oldest child that's been here has been 6 or 8, but just bring them and get connected with the kids. And it's a fun thing to do on Saturday morning because kids are up early, so you might as well come and have coffee with them. And then the last thing we have is Cam is going to tell you all about the 23rd. Sorry, wait.
Okay, so just a reminder, it's in 2 weeks. So on the 23rd, we're going downtown Denver to serve peanut butter and jelly sandwiches along with water, cookies, and chips. And then we've already gotten a lot of donations, so thank you if you've given donations. But if you want to give some, they're out in the front. And then, what else?
9 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh yeah, so we would be leaving on 9 o'clock on Saturday. So the 23rd is a Saturday. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so at 9 o'clock, if you want your kiddos to go, if they go to youth group, just have them here. Jake and I will be here. We'll make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We just do a little assembly line. We put together a whole lunch. We'll probably be done around 11. We'll head downtown. We'll be there for a couple hours. We'll come back, take the kiddos to Chick-fil-A. We'll stuff some food down their little gullet so we're not sending them back to you starving. And then you'll hear all about it on Sunday because they're doing a great job. And one final announcement is today is the young adult lunch. Today is at Culver's at noon. So you're a high school kid, 12th grader, okay, a senior in high school, or up to the age of 25, please go get connected with some of the young kids here at church and go have lunch. So thank you very much. He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
It's a little slow.
That's all right. Man, I almost made the cutoff for that young adult lunch thing. I just barely missed it. All right, I got one more announcement for you. If you see, there's a piece of paper about this size on your chair or near your chair somewhere. This morning, we had to make the tough decision to close down our preschool, our nursery and preschool side on the kids ministry. And part of that is because we've been doing some rule updates and mostly around safety. And one of those rules is there have to be 2 adults in a classroom with your children. We don't want an adult to be alone, and teens have great intentions, but they're not adults yet. No matter what they think, they're not quite adults. They're great helpers, but they don't count in that 2 rule. And so we had some struggles this morning getting enough volunteers there. So here's your opportunity to volunteer for children's ministry. Here's our goal. We are looking to at least double the number of volunteers we have in children's ministry. Now, the first thing when I bring that up, I know what's going through many of your heads. I can't teach kids. They're scary. I know they're scary, but there are other opportunities besides teaching, and let me tell you what those are. Number one, we have room on our check-in team. So when parents come in, new parents who've been here for a while, need help checking their kids in, we need someone to stand there. We'll give you the training you need. So that's one opportunity. You don't even have to deal with kids on that one. All right, next is we need some classroom floaters. What that means is, so part of that, I'll give you an example, that 2-person rule, 2 adults in the room at all times, well, that's great until one of them has to go to the restroom. Now what? We need a floater. So we're going to have floaters that will go, all you got to do is when someone needs to go to the restroom or they need someone to go get a parent, that's what that floater is going to do. Again, you don't even have to look at a child. You might have to stand in a room and act like a statue, but you don't have to speak to the children. Okay? Number 3, we need some classroom substitutes. Sometimes, I know it's weird, but people get sick on Sunday morning, and we need someone to be able to step into a classroom and help out. That one you are going to have to deal with kids. We need nursery attendants. So if you love the littles, the little babies, and by the way, here's one of the other rules we have. You don't have to change diapers. In fact, you can't change a diaper. So you get to do nursery as a grandparent, not a parent. Means you don't have to do any of the dirty work. You let someone else do that. We need preschool teachers and elementary teachers. Now that is a job where you have to be able to teach, but we've got curriculum that's easy to follow. We also need assistants in each one of those rooms. So you don't have to necessarily do the teaching, but you're loving on kids, you're caring for them, helping with snacks, all those kinds of things. Here's what I want you to do. Don't fall into groupthink. Yeah, do you know what groupthink is? Groupthink is, look, I'm in a room full of all these people. Somebody else will do it. No, they won't. We need you to step up, all right? Again, we need to double the size of our children's ministry, and I believe we can absolutely do it. People all the time tell me, well, you never asked. We're asking, all right? So if you just simply put your name, your email, phone number, select everything that you would be okay with doing, drop that off on the back table, and that way we don't have to shut down children's ministry ever again. Amen? All right. What's that? Yeah, that's a good point. Once you sign up, you're going to sign up for every Sunday for the next year. No, I'm just kidding. Really, just once a month is really what we're striving for. If the team gets big enough, it could even be bigger than that. So you could even say once or twice a month or a year, every other month. Maybe we'll say it like that. But you're going to be able to tell us, here's what I think I can do. I can work on the second Sunday, or I can do a couple Sundays. Whatever you can do is certainly going to help us. All right? If you have any other questions, come find me, find Jake, find Deb. If anyone, she's skedaddled out of here. So, all right, she's back there, so you can find her. Let's stand, be dismissed, stack a chair in numbers of 7, because that's the perfect number. Yep. Oh, yeah. We've also got a petition out in the lobby that you can go sign for that petition, get some information out. God bless you. Have a great afternoon.